Welcome back to another Guide Life show. Here we are back on Leech Lake today. Today we're going to go out, we're going to look for some big fish on Leech Lake, 112,000 acres. We just finished up a 2+ inch rainstorm. It's windy. It's definitely a big day on Leech Lake. By big I mean it's probably going to be 2 to 4 foot waves in certain areas. We may or may not get into all of those, but we're out today with Zach Christensen from North Edge Exteriors and one of our favorite guides, Nick Miltimore, with Mike's Tree Company, with 2 sponsors in the boat today as Zach and I are pre-fishing for an upcoming tournament, looking for some big bites, trying to help you figure out how to catch big fish amongst all the other walleyes. How do you pick them out using forward-facing sonar, side imaging, putting it all together, jigging, rigging, bobbers, doing it all, trying to find big fish, looking for that big bite on the Guide Life.
Regulators, suit up.
Baby!
Putting
on the feed.
Oh, we got one!
I slid out this follow it.
Oh boy. One of my faves. Bottom, so let's get that one back.
We went old school. Finder 19, Zach.
Nice fish, buddy.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
That's a nice one, Jason.
As a football coach,
There we go.
There we go. First nice fish of the day. On top of these fish, like you said.
There we go. Big walleye. Look at that beautiful fish. Yeah! Yeah.
That's awesome. You want to go catch a big one?
Oh, what a
Beautiful, old warrior.
yeah, beautiful.
Heavy too.
That was 37. 8 minutes to go. Woo!
The Guide Life with Leisure Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by these great partners.
Well, the cast and crew made it. Here we are, sitting in the Lund 219 down here on Leech Lake. We just dumped in and getting ready to go out for our second show of the season with the Guide Life. And joining me, like I mentioned, is Nick Miltimore and Zach Christensen. As guides, Nick and I have been out here on Leech Lake recently. We just filmed the show with Chuck Hassey that you recently saw. Nick, as a guide, you were out here the other day. Tell me about your report. Like, how was fishing for you here on Leech Lake?
Yeah, I was here Saturday and Sunday. It was a good bite. It was spotty, but when we found fish, we were able to catch them.
So in guiding, you're looking to fill a limit or get people action, you know. And so, what kind of fish did you find when you were here guiding? Per se, average size walleyes.
Yeah, we found a lot of 15 to 17 inch fish.
Perfect eaters.
Yeah, perfect eaters. Exactly what you're looking for on a guide trip.
A guide trip, yeah, that's exactly right. And Zach Christensen's joining us too. And Zach's a tournament partner of mine and a longtime friend. And Zach's going to help me break down Leech Lake today. And we'll talk about how we do it, but break down Leech Lake for bigger fish. So we mentioned guide fish, and I've been out there too. We're looking for those 15 to 19 inchers, good eaters, right? Well, in a tournament, this tournament we're fishing, this format, we need fish, six fish, 5 fish?
5 fish this year, 2 over 20, and 3 just under 20.
So 19 and 7/8, 4 of those, and a couple that are 28 inches would be great. Or bigger.
Be great.
Or bigger.
Be
And
fantastic.
And rumor has it Chuck Hassey is not fishing this year. He's gone, and Chuck has won 2 years in a row 3 times.
Yep.
So we have a chance.
Yeah, he gave us a little chance this year.
He didn't tell us where to go though.
No.
Of course
No.
not. So we have to figure out Chuck's hot spots or something close, and that's what we're doing today on the Guide Life. Nick, Zach joining us. Let's go break down Leech Lake for bigger fish and 19 and 7/8.
It could be a little shallower. So the water temperature has dropped a couple degrees from 3 days ago. It was in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Now we got 58 degrees here. Currently we're in Walker Bay looking for big fish. You know, Walker Bay has them, and it hasn't been very good yet because the fish have been colder water. They're always a little bit later. We had the early spawn this year on Leech Lake because of the early ice out. And the big fish we've been catching have been coming during guide trips when we're just going through a bunch of fish. And when I've looked in Walker Bay, either the fish were super shallow or super deep, but they weren't in that 10 to 20 foot range. But now we're progressed here a couple of weeks past the opener. The fish are starting to dump out to the break lines. So hopefully we're going to find these fish somewhere between 14 and 30 feet of water as they're moving up and down, getting ready for the mayflies to start hatching, and chasing shiners that are now moving out after spawn too. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the deep edges in Walker Bay, and once we find them, we'll decide what we're going to do presentation-wise. We'll jig them in with leeches, red tails, creek chubs. We got it all, artificials, and maybe even some bobbers. So we'll start with finding fish, and we'll go from there. So what we're doing right here is, I'm looking at 2D sonar, traditional stuff. Side imaging is in play, but sometimes because of the clear water and zebra mussels on a lake like Cass Lake or Leech Lake, when we're on Leech Lake, Mille Lacs Lake, it's so clear that sometimes you just can't drive over them. The fish will just keep, like a train, just stay on the tracks and keep driving in front of you. You'll never go over them. So what we did is we put Zach up front here using forward-facing sonar to help search. As I'm idling, I'm driving us right on the brakes through my old waypoints, and Zach's panning left and right looking for fish. And I think he might have just, do you see, maybe found something? Zach, you see one?
Yeah.
And now we'll see if we can catch it and sample and see what size fish these are. And if we catch it, we'll mark it down as a good spot. We're a couple weeks away from the tournament, so we'll catch and release today. Hopefully they remember our favorite jig and come back and bite it again in a couple weeks if it's a big one.
Zach just found us a little school of fish up ahead of the boat right here on the forward-facing sonar. We're going to start with a few different tactics here. I just rigged up a mission tackle tungsten jig with a shiner. Zach is going to throw a shiner, Toby's going to throw a leech, and we're going to see what these fish want. Right down to the bottom.
This is perfect right here, conditions-wise.
There you go.
Feel good?
Feels like a good one. Want to spot lock us?
That's a nice one. A little over. Maybe right at 19. No, it's over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be an over.
That looks like the one. Oh, botched it. Nice fish.
Go.
That's definitely an over. It's not quite that 28, but what a beauty. Explain to us how you caught that fish, what we were doing. That's pretty much the same size as what...
Found that fish on forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
Pitched a jig and a shiner at him. And he toyed with it up and down, chased it down to the bottom, back up, back down, and finally convinced him to eat us. Nice fish.
Let's get a measurement on the net. This is what I love about these clam nets. Because we're looking for fish that are 25 inches or bigger, probably. And that's going to be right at that 20, 25 when you stretch it. Yeah, because of the aim format.
So. Nice fish.
I think it's the same fish.
You ready?
So,
There she goes.
when looking for big fish, what did we learn? 2 bites on shiners. So the shiner game's in play. Live bait, shiners, leeches, whatever it is, but we know shiners are working, which is typical for Leech Lake, Mille Lacs Lake, you know, all these central Minnesota lakes where the fish key in on that forage, especially this time of the year. And we are out in, that fish was in that 2022 and then followed you all the way out deeper a little bit, so probably caught it in 25 to 30 by the time it bit, right?
I wasn't even paying attention to depth. I was watching the...
So as we netted it, we're in 35 feet. But that fish was right around that 20-foot mark, was where we saw him on the forward-facing sonar. So start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. We're on a shoreline break where there's a secondary wind. It is rocking out here right now. We're dressed for it. Yeah. And I'm trying to find spots where there's current and wind, but not in it, not in the big stuff. There's still some current here, residual effect, blowing the plankton in here, zooplankton. Shiners are in there, bait's in there, bait fish and the predators, which are walleyes, follow. So that's what we're doing. So step 1, we found what to look for in the right depth. Yeah, so first spot, 2 bites. Got one in, got one just close enough to see. Fish kind of dispersed, so we got one spot that's holding fish, that's good. Never caught that big giant one, but we're on the move. 2 bites on shiners. I threw a couple on a leech and no followers, but the fish seem to have shut off here. Maybe it's the pressure or whatever, but off to another spot.
Fish where the fish are. That part ain't rocket science. In terms of walleye production, Leech Lake is best. Trappers Landing Lodge on the south shore of Leech Lake has the finest lodging on the entire lake. With renowned angling expert Josh Bullivant managing the property, Trappers Landing is the place to be, opening weekend and all season long. Fish where the fish are. Stay at Trappers. Call for reservations 218-836-2500.
Stop into Ray's Sport and Marine today to check out our remaining 2022 in-stock inventory or place your 2023 order with guaranteed price lock until September 1st. After September 1st, prices are subject to change, so now is the time to reserve your new boat. From tillers to side consoles and full windshield models, we sell them all. Our sales and service team is here to help you get on the water. Ray's Sport and Marine, 896 Northeast 1st Street, Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
You want to drive a sack? Yep. This is on 10, it's not even moving. I don't know if the batteries are going dead or it's that much water. Aren't hardly moving, I got it floored. There's one, hold it. There we go. Yep. What you got, Toby? Not sure. It might be a pike, might be a walleye. Put a big minnow on, so
Big minnow,
we
big
don't
fish.
know. Wasn't a super big minnow, but feels like a pretty good fish. Whatever it is, it's fun to get bit finally. Nice fish. That's more like it.
That's what we're after.
Yeah, that'll work. What do you think of that, Zach?
I think I got that same one in the tournament last year.
Oh, man.
Dandy.
That's what we're looking for.
That's a good one. I think you'd have to put that one on the card, Toby.
We would. I'm gonna need a pliers. That is a proper tournament grade Leech Lake walleye. Look at that beautiful fish. Healthy too. Look at him, he's photogenic, sticking up for you. Oh, I just love him. Beautiful fish. So let's talk about it, get him quick measurement, let him go. You wanna hold this for me, somebody? I'm gonna do the old through here. We want him to be good and healthy. You can see this minnow when it pops out. There we go. We'll let him have that meal. Look at that. He ate a creek chub. A beautiful fish. That's like a 27, 8, 29. Oh, Zach, we'd get 29 and a quarter.
Toby, the same spot last year. I got a 28.
29 and a quarter. We're gonna let him go.
Just grew a little bit.
Beautiful fish. If we don't catch another one, we're fine. We're figuring the program out. I think we'll catch a few more fish. But this has been a great show already. We're out here with our buddies. Everybody's got a fish in the boat. Has some big ones on. Hopefully we get some more. But we'll let her go. This is what the guide life's all about. Us out here on the water. We're trying to find some fish, but get a day off of guiding, but we're still looking for big ones. That's a super healthy tanker. And we're gonna let her go. What a fun bite that was. Pitched out there forward facing sonar. I've been trying to leech being stubborn because that's what worked yesterday. No bites. Jigs and minnows are for sure getting fish to bite. Finally found a big one up there and Zach found it. We tried a shiner, didn't eat a shiner. So I took a bigger creek chub presentation and he followed it a while, right on the bottom. Again, these fish are looking at, you can see right here we have a shoreline break where now we're like 16 feet. These fish are just pushing out to the mud. They're starting, there's just seagulls all over the place. Bugs are starting to hatch. Transition time. The big fish are finding those sand and mud transitions and we're keen in on those opportunities. A lot of lakes, Leech included, there's a lot of spots that traditionally same time of year will hold fish and you just have to play the wind like you've read a million times in fishing. You know, where's the wind been for a couple days? Well, it's been northwest, west wind here. And so we're working on the eastern side of the lake right now because that's where the wind's been blowing for a couple days. So
again, the same, we kind of figured out a pattern. We're looking in that, 14 to 20 foot of water, sandgrass to sand to mud transitions. And we're just using our electronics, trusting it, going up and down the lake. We've seen a few big fish, caught a couple big fish, lost a nice big fish, caught some small ones. It's good fishing today. We're still on the hunt for those big ones. That one? Nick?
Yep.
Coming. Little keeper. That's not going to do us any good. That's kind of what I figured we were looking at. Those are good if we're guiding though, huh, Nick?
A great guide fish.
Things have changed a little bit. It's colder. We're over in a windier spot. The fish seem to be, instead of being up, they're down to the bottom. So saw a little pot of fish here. Zach pitched in on them, got that one all the way in. It's like a 15-incher. Perfect eater. But we don't want eaters. We want 19s or bigger. Jesus, he's on it. He's on there a while, to be honest. It's not very big. Might be in. Yeah, not very big. Boxer. That was weird. Never really felt the bite, just reeled in. When I started reeling in, there was a fish on it, so take them however you want, but that's getting closer to the right unders, but probably a little short. That's like a 17-incher. Beautiful walleye. I guess he wants to go. So it'd be ultimate if we could find fish like that were another inch bigger. We're only 30 yards from where I just caught a 29-incher. So ultimately in a tournament, you want to utilize and save time, right? So if you can find your unders as close to the overs as possible, you're gonna have more fishing time, and fishing time's everything when it comes to tournaments. Here we are back at my favorite sporting goods store. We're at Reed's here in Walker, joined by Benny. And what I want to talk about today is the underwater systems that we can utilize as fishermen, both ice fishing, standalone units, and now with some of the other units, you can plug them right into your graphs. Doesn't matter the style, the Garmins, the Humminbirds, the Lances. There's different units for different purposes, different price points, and that's where we bring in the sales experts to kind of walk us through it. So let's take a look at what Reed's offers here, some of the sales, maybe promotions going on with AquaView, and Benny's going to walk us through the different products.
Absolutely. In terms of units available, they make small, micro-sized portable units. They make bigger monitors for being able to utilize in ice houses as well as being used on the boat too. AquaView has units available for all anglers and all people that are able to use a camera. In terms of units themselves, I have obviously many of them on display here. The micro series units, obviously more so portableized and utilized for ice fishing, especially, more of us up here in the upper Midwest using them ice fishing. But they do make some bigger monitors as well. Most of these can be able to be hooked up to a television, more so guys in ice houses, but they can also be utilized hooked up to the fish finders as well. So in terms of units, I've got small units, I've got big units as well.
So as far as, your portable standalone units will be your lower price points, and for the bigger ones with the HDMI or whatever the connection cable for a unit or a big screen TV, you pretty much have it all.
Correct.
Right? And do most of them do that same feature?
Correct, yes, absolutely.
So with AquaView, an underwater system, it's truly that final touch to all of our technology. So again, you're a Humminbird, or if you're a Garmin, or if you're a Lowrance owner, you have the side imaging, you have forward facing, you have 2D, you have mapping, you have it all. But what those units don't do is tell you exactly what you're looking at below the boat or in front of the boat or the side of the boat. So that's where the AquaView units, you can go ahead and break down. You can find your fish and get them. Maybe they're biting, maybe they're not. If you don't sample them with a hook, line, and sinker, you can drop the camera down, find that fish, find what it is you're looking at, whether it's bait fish, maybe it's suckers. You're not spending any more time on the water, wasting time trying to catch a fish that's probably not going to bite with an AquaView camera. So as a tournament angler and as a guide, I utilize it daily. You know, take out the AquaView when you find your fish. If you're not getting the bite, drop it down, see what's going on, see the size of the fish if I'm fishing a tournament, and or make sure we have the right species. AquaView system is where it's at with identifying the species once you've located them with electronics. We get a day off of guiding, but we're still looking for big ones. That's a super healthy tanker, and we're gonna let her go.
We're out here today and we've got this Maluna unhinged cooler, made in the USA, made right here in Minnesota, and this thing is absolutely amazing. Last thing we want to worry about in the morning is making sure that we have enough ice in the boat. We know that when we fill up our Maluna on the start of the week, that towards the end of the week, we're still going to have cold ice inside of there. Oversized handles, they're lightweight, easy to haul around, plenty of room, and these things are top notch. You want a cooler that'll keep ice for several days on end, these Maluna unhinged are where it's at.
Reed's Family Outdoor Outfitters is the #1 ice fishing headquarters. We have everything you need, from today's firearms to the latest fishing electronics and the hottest footwear and outdoor apparel. We only carry the best brands at the best prices. Have a question? No problem. We have the most knowledgeable team in the business, ready to answer your call personally 7 days a week. Whether you're visiting us in Walker, Minnesota, or touching your screen, with our state-of-the-art distribution center, we can get you gear when you need it fast. Cast or blast, Reed's has the best service, best advice, and best price, guaranteed.
So Nick, you mentioned you may have to get off the water here, or not have to get off soon, but sometime during daylight hours, you gotta get off the water today because you gotta do a little other work, your other job. Remind us of what that is again.
Yeah, I work for Mike's Tree Company as a sales manager, and I have an estimate up here in the Walker area today to take a look at some tree work for a customer that we work on their property frequently. And so while I'm in the area, I'm gonna stop by and see what they have for us to look at and go from there.
That's awesome. I know you're busy this time of year too, but in the winter, Nick, you guys are also busy, not with trees, but what else are you guys doing?
We do commercial snow removal in the winter. So we're the Brainerd Lakes area's largest commercial snow removal company. And so besides tree removals and pruning and plant health care, we also do commercial snow removal.
So that's good stuff, Nick. So you know that stuff happens, right? So trees fall over, storms come through, it is the season, it's summer. And you know, I had a similar deal. You guys came and helped me with some trees, and I also had an incident where I started my house on fire trying to smoke. You know, they say don't put your grill on your deck. Well, I did something similar. Some coals got out of the way, and I've also had a tree in the recent 2 years, kind of double whammy, siding and a roof with a tree. So that service is pretty awesome to help somebody out. But when tragedy strikes, or a bad situation like that with the weather, my other guy in the boat here, Zach Christensen, North Edge Exteriors, also can take care of you. So I called and Zach came out and took care of me. Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your company offers too?
So I opened my company up in 2019. I own a company called North Edge Exteriors. I'm a general contractor in Minnesota, and we primarily focus on roofing, siding, windows, gutters, mostly exterior work. It is our busy time of the year right now, and it seems like a lot of our work comes from storm work. We do a lot of retail business as well, but it seems as over the past 10 years, Minnesota has just had so many drastic weather events that it's kind of where the business has led us. I've been in the industry since 2005 and just decided to step out on my own. So it's kind of our busy time of the year, and so it's nice to sneak away with Toby and the boys to go fishing for a little bit, but I don't get to fish as much as I'd like to.
Zach's been a great friend of ours. Not only me personally as a friend, we fish tournaments together, a couple, 2, 3 a year, and we're due to win this one. That's why we're out here right now. But just been a great friend and a great sponsor, and just a supporter of Leisure Outdoor Adventures. So, you know, we're lucky to have him, and I hope you're enjoying the show with both these guys, class act individuals.
So I've been fishing up in Walker area with Toby since about 2013, 2014, and I started to expand some of my sales and roofing up into this area, getting to know Toby and Jeff, and they've helped me expand my business quite a bit actually through the northern part of the state, getting a lot more of the lake property type people, and actually giving me an excuse to fish because I'm meeting so many people through fishing. It's really been a blessing to expand the company. So obviously it's where I enjoy to spend my free time, and now being able to do some work up here as well as sneaking out and fishing is wonderful. And if we can keep Toby, you know, having mishaps at his own personal property, I can stay busy with that too.
So both Nick and Zach are being modest. You know, they're very successful in their businesses. Nick as a guide and in the sales with Mike's Tree Company. We're just lucky to have them. They do a tremendous job, very professional. Both companies, very professional, top of the notch. So again, viewers, you know, if you like to, if you have something happen, of course, unfortunate, or maybe it's just time to change your shingles up, because that happens too. They last 20, 30 years, whatever it is. Please think about both of our sponsors, Mike's Tree Company and North Edge Exteriors. What do you got, Zach?
Well,
something found you?
Hopefully bigger than the one I lost this morning.
Looks good.
Here.
Yep, go ahead.
Not that musky, is it? It's a good size something.
Yeah, it's staying down.
Looks like the right kind.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn. Oh, Nick. That's a nice fish.
There we go.
My buddy Zach. We went old school there.
Redemption.
We went old school. We said, let's just throw the rigs out. We're having a hard time finding suspended fish. And just rigged. 2D sonar, just going down a break line. Getting our stuff down at the bottom, and boy, that's another nice one.
Beautiful fish.
Need to go in through the side, right in the corner. Let's measure that on the net, Nick.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we got to see what kind of fish we got. I'm guessing 26-ish. What do you think?
I think, yeah, 6, 7.
Put it right down on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26-incher. So if we could have a 26 and a 29, and then find our 19, Zach, I think we would have a decent day. Now this is a 2-day tournament, so we got to do this 2 days in a row.
Yep.
But that's a beautiful fish.
I'm gonna get it back so we can get it back in another week, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Take care of these fish. So we got a 25-incher,
Yep.
a 26-incher, blind squirrel got a 29-incher. So fun day here on the water.
Great time.
You know, we have, we'll kind of round this up back at the dock too, but 3 great fish. Again, we're looking for big fish this time of year. We're pre-fishing for a tournament. One of our guides here, Nick Miltimore, here to join us, kind of going through the ropes with us, showing us some of where his good unders were from last weekend, so we can put the puzzle together for the Leech Lake Walleye tournament coming up here in about 10 days. So for Zach and Nick, in case we don't see you again, we'll see you next show. We're going to be doing side imaging only, working with a couple of special guests, so stay tuned.
Leisure Outdoor Adventures would like to thank all their sponsors for their support in making the Guide Life happen.